Hello, welcome to another video. This will be another Lounge TV reaction. I apologize if this is a day late. Um, I made an update video, so that should explain it. I also explained it at the start of my Buntoa Best reaction to her Island 7.4. So, this one is called How to Fix a Fishing Pole. I totally get him doing a video like this, but she did some fishing vlogs not too long ago on this channel, so just also giving a heads up that there will be a Larry's Lounge reaction today as well, because today is Monday, which means Larry's Lounge uploaded. That video is interesting, but it's also under 10 minutes as well. It's probably going to be my shortest reaction today. So with that being said, let's get into this reaction.
Welcome to Lounge TV, I'm Larry, and that there's Tom. I did it, Tom, anyway.
It's fine when I'm behind it.
Guys, I'm going to teach you guys, well, I'm teaching myself at the same time, because I already tried it once, but didn't come out as good as I thought it would. Do you ever have a broken eye on your fishing pole?
Can't say I have.
No, of course you haven't, Tom, but other people have that actually fish. Most of the time, I always threw my poles away, because I tried always, to replace the end ones. It never worked out. This one, it's not the end. This is this eye, and this eye was broken too. Now, this is the one I already did, and as you can see, I didn't do a great job on it, but it ain't going nowhere. See, this is factory right there. Look how nice that is, nice and smooth. Look how nice and bumpy that is. That's me trying to do it. All right, but you know what? I have the resin in my pocket here. So one of the first things you want to do if you have a broken eye like that is, they sell kits, Amazon. I picked this up at Amazon. Well, I didn't pick it up, they delivered it. Fishing rod repair kit. Google it. They have so many different ones, guys. I tried this one because this, you use a UV light to cure the resin. Reminds me of the dentist. You had a cavity filled, didn't you, Tom?
One, yeah.
Yeah, they put, well, I don't know if they don't do it with cavities, do they? I know they do it with, if they're doing a crown, they'll put the resin on there, and then they'll put this thing in there with the purple light in it.
Yeah.
Cures it. Did they do it with your...
I think they did, but I'm familiar with the concept anyway.
Okay, so, anyway, what it comes with is your resin, your UV light, some sandpaper, and various eyes. Now, they're not very big, and there's no end ones. But you could probably use one of these for the end, I'm sure. I'm sure you could just put it on, because some of these only have like that. You could put it on the end like that, for sure. But we don't have that problem with this. And of course you have your string, which is to wrap it up. Now, here we go. This is a part that you have to be really careful. So you need, the tools that you're going to need is going to be a utility knife, some scissors, and I'm going to try this one with a brush. See, some of the kits come with a brush where you would just put the stuff on there and just go around like that. This didn't come with one. I thought I ordered the kit with it. So I was just putting it on like this, and I think that's why it didn't get really smooth around there. So I'm going to try getting this one smooth. If it works out for this one, then I'm going to go back and put a layer over there and try smoothing it out. But we'll see. So the first thing you want to do is cut this off. Now, this is already resin on here, and there's also string in there. That's what that black is. It's all string that's wrapped there, and the resin's on top of it. This is what you got to be real careful of, because you don't want to cut yourself. So it's a tedious job, and what I do is I kind of score it like this. I have to go slow because I don't want to cut my finger. Pretty important. Okay, so if you can score it like that, and then you can see how you get your blade underneath there, and then just kind of like peel that off, and just get it little by little on there. And as you can see, there's a little string right there that was still there. Okay, so continue to do this on this whole one, and then go over to this side and do this. As you can see, there's a lot of, look how much epoxy's on there, or not epoxy, but resin. There's a lot in there, so I'm gonna have to get all that off. So this is how you do it. It's just like I said, real tedious, but just make sure you don't cut yourself, because that's what's, you gotta be just real careful. Slow and steady. That's what I always say. It's like when I learned how to drive the boat and everything, because the currents were so bad where I would go. I found out that the slower you went, the better it was. I don't think there was such a thing as going too slow to dock your boat or pull out of the dock. Just take your time, because if you gun it, you have more of a chance for the boat to be out of control.
That makes enough sense.
So the same thing with this, go nice and slow, or else when you rush things, that's usually when accidents happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to keep control of this knife the whole time. There we go. See, now I have the whole metal undone there, but I want to take all this off too on this side. So I will, and this is where it's really tricky, because you don't want to score down in here, you know what I mean? You don't want to ruin your pole. Oh, and also it comes with sandpaper, so you got to sand all this down. You know how rough it is there. Now, the thing is that, okay, I know it's not going to be professional, right? But it's not about being professional, it's about functionality. That's what I want. I want it to be able to work, because it couldn't work before. Now, I don't have to get that little bit of tan or whatever, making sure I didn't cut my finger, because I didn't. You don't have to get that off, because the other one, as you can see, is going to be like this. So it's not going to go all the way down. It's going to be about the same as that one. So I don't have to go all the way down there. All right, okay. So now I got to do the other side, and we'll turn the camera on when I'm finished that. You have an idea now how to do this part. So there we go.
Lay's are made from real potatoes from over 100 farms across America.
Lay's, stay golden.
So there we go. Didn't take that long, did it, Tom?
Not particularly.
Yeah, now, sometimes it helps if you have another set of hands to hold the pole. Tom was helping me. He was holding the pole on this end, so it wasn't spinning around on me and stuff like that. So then you want to take your sandpaper that comes with it, as a matter of fact, and just sand all the rough edges off of this. And then after you're done that, you want to get a damp cloth or a paper towel and wipe that off, so that way it's nice and smooth for your next step. Pretty easy, guys. I mean, you can sit there and go, just turn it like this, or you can go up and down. It's up to you.
Apologize if I'm not saying much. I don't know too much about fishing and stuff like that. I've only fished once in my life, but again, for anyone that does fish, this is a good tutorial video for people to watch. So that's always a good thing as well.
But you want to get as much of the rough stuff off as you can. Make it nice and clean.
I'm sure Joe would have a plethora of jokes right now.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Okay. Matter of fact, when he watches this, he probably will. Now I'm going to go get a damp paper towel, and then I'm going to clean that off, and then we can go to the next step. Welcome back. So, if you hear a noise in the background, which you probably already have throughout this video, the smoker was going because we are doing a pulled pork. And right now we turn it off, but the fan runs for at least 10 minutes or something like that. Hopefully it's not too annoying in the background. So, our next step now, after we did this, I took a damp paper towel. As you can see, it took a little of the paint off, right? And then rubber up there like that, and dry it off. Now, you want to set your eye. Now, you want to line it up. There's a wasp on you. Oh, he flew away. You're good. You want to line them up with the one on the bottom and the one on the top, right? So, when you get it to the spot that you want, take a piece of painter's tape, or masking tape would work too. I'm going to put that like that, and then I'm going to line it up to where I want it here. It's very hard to do. You want it as close as you possibly can get it, right? And then it's just to hold it there. That's all you need. And just make sure you go like this. And if you see, pretty good?
Looks like it.
Okay. So your next step is the tedious part of this. And that is you want to take your string that comes with it and start wrapping it. Now, This is starting to fray already, so I'm going to try cutting this. Alright. They don't show you in the directions that you should tie a knot or anything. Which makes it kind of hard, because if you go to wrap it, it's just going to keep coming undone, right?
Right.
So, I tied a knot in it. Because I wanted to. Why not? I get that, Tom. Tom's a little witty sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to take that and just tie it there. Now they also showed that I'm going to have to put another loop in this. That they started at the other end and worked their way up. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to start it like that, and I'm just going to start. This is the hard, like I said, this is the hard part, because you want to wrap this up tight and go all the way down and just around on this thing. And what's a pain is, especially if you have a knot like this, because it's just too freaking loose. It's just, you have to have a lot of patience with this, guys, because it's very awkward, because to get this thing around constantly, and it's kind of frustrating. I'm going to put a special kind of knot in this so I can get it tight on there. It doesn't matter what kind of knot you put on it, guys. You can do whatever you want. You're going to be covering it up in the resin anyway. And what I do is I put like a little knot on there like that. And then I'm going to take this around like this, and I'm going to take the end with the knot, and I don't know if you can see any of this, Tom. I've showed the knot before. I showed it, I think we did it in the Psycho series even, because Jesse had to do it. So what this kind of knot, what it does, if I can get it there, because it's really starting to get on my nerves. Okay, it tightens up, see? So I can get it really nice and tight there, on there. And now I can just start, I'm going to start wrapping this up like this. And this is, like I said, this is the pain part of it. You got to have a lot of patience. And I'm going to want to, first of all, I want to get that knot over there. So I'm going to continuously do this. Probably cuss a little bit, because see, this is what I'm talking about. You gotta keep putting that spool around like that. But you see how I gotta wrap it real tight next to each other? And then I'm gonna have to push them with my fingernail to try to get them all together like that. I'm gonna keep doing this. I gotta figure out this. There we go. I'm gonna keep doing this all the way around like this. Once it gets to a certain point, I'm going to show you a little bit of an easier way that I could do this, so I don't have to keep doing that. And that is to put it like this, and to actually, if I can show you guys, get it like that, and then I could just spin the pole. It's a lot easier this way. Okay, and then like I said, when you get to a certain point, push them all up to make sure that they're all, you don't want those gaps in there. Just to, you want to make it as professional looking as you can, get it? I mean, as you can tell, I didn't get real professional with my first one that I did. And then you're going to keep doing this, and it might take you quite some time. And when I get to the end of this, we'll turn the camera back on, and we will show you the next part. Okay, so when I got to the end, when I wrapped it around, I put a little piece of tape on there so it won't unwind on me. So just make sure that you're still lined up good, which I am. And now comes the part where the resin's going to go on. Now, the one thing I did on, like I told you on the other one, is I didn't use a brush. I just put it on like this. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing, but then I'm going to use a brush. So that you just take the resin, like that. Just gonna put dab on there, and I'm gonna try brushing it around like that. Yeah. And if you see those pieces that are sticking up right there, that's because that was sticking up through it. It's not like it's freed. That's the very end. So I'm gonna put this all over here like this. Okay. And then I'm going to get that like that. Like that. And then I'm gonna take my UV like that. You gotta push it like that. And it says it takes about 2 minutes for it to cure. And then, if it doesn't fully cure like that, I'm going to be putting more layers on, just to let you guys know. But if it doesn't fully cure, what you do is you leave it sit out in the sun for a few hours.
That makes sense.
And then it'll fully cure that way. So I'm going to do this until it's relatively hard, like that. Then I can take this piece of tape off down here. And the string's probably going to come undone a little bit right there, see? But that's okay, because I'm not worried about that. Because I already have epoxy on, well, not epoxy, but resin on some of this, so I'm just going to now. Tell me I'm out already. You kidding me?
How did you use that much resin?
No, I think it got hard on the end.
That makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna have to go get a pin, guys. I'll be right back. So, guys, I found out that it's no easier with a brush, and my brush now is hard as a rock. And I think one of the problems I'm having out here is because there's sunlight. So the UV light is really messing me up out here. It's drying really fast. Like it dried all in the nozzle. So I have to dump it on now. That's probably why this is brown.
Probably.
To begin with, so that it wouldn't. So now, anyway, I mean it works. I mean it's still hardened, but it's like I didn't make it nice and smooth like I wanted it down there. But that won't matter as long as the eye's on. That's all. I mean, because the line is going to go through the eyes. It's not going to be touching this at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to save my fishing pole that I get to use. It's just, it doesn't look professional. It looks like somebody fixed their eyes and rigged it. So the next thing you want to do is, first of all, there are other kits that you can buy that are actually, they don't have the UV stuff. So you can use, it's just like an epoxy where they would harden on there, and you wouldn't have to worry about the UV part of it where if you were doing it outside. The reason why I wanted to do it outside is because I can't see in the house. It's not bright enough. And it's like when I was wrapping it up, I was like, my eyes were not too happy. So if you have a sharp edge there, take your sandpaper, sand it down. It doesn't make it as nice looking because it kind of dulls it up a little bit. But like this doesn't have any sharp edges. It's just lumpy. Nothing wrong with lumpy. Right, Tom?
I suppose not.
Anyway, so now, once you take that tape off, this is held in place because it has plenty of epoxy on there, or resin. So now you can just put your string on the other side and do the exact same thing. Then dump a whole bunch of resin on it and you are done and ready to go fishing. I'll tell you what, it's very strong stuff. Like, I mean, like this eye can't come off. It'd have to break off, just like the other one broke off. Same thing with this. I mean, it's already set there. You know, and that's one of the reasons why you got to make it exactly where you want it, because if not, you're once you put the resin on one side, that's it. You got no other chances to do anything there. So I'm going to tie the same kind of knot that I had on the other one. And as you can see, there we go. And I can just put it down like this. And then tighten her up there like this. And then I can just start wrapping this up too. And like I said, it's a tedious thing. But hey, why throw your pole away when you can just do this, you know?
Right, spend a $10 kit to fix it up as opposed to spending $50 on a new pole.
Yeah, and I imagine like with anything, the more that you do these, the better you'll get at it. Like this is the second eye that I've ever replaced. I mean, I've tried, like I said, on the N ones before. I never knew about the epoxy stuff. They had these kits where you would like use your lighter to put it on there. You know, some people just cut off the end and go down to the next eye. But because usually that's the one that goes. It's usually the tip.
That makes sense. It's thinner.
Yeah, it's weird that I had two eyes break off like this. I think Jeff did it myself, but because he always brings my poles home in his truck. So, and I usually, you know, Tom, when I go to get them, they're one big tangled mess because he just throws them in his truck, and then it's a mess. Yeah, that's right. I threw Jeff under the bus. He don't watch our videos anyway. So continue to do this. Like I said, I'm gonna try something different at the end here because that was a pain in the neck. That piece on the end, wasn't it, Tom? You saw I had a hard time with that. So I'm going to just this time tie a knot or something on there because that's ridiculous. And I'll just keep doing this until we get there, and we'll get to the next part. So there you go. I have it all done, and that actually is the best looking one, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, kind of ironic considering that's the fastest one. You said going slow is better.
Yeah, what I did is I dumped a whole bunch of that crap on there and just let it go naturally and smooth, and it kind of ran and made it nice and smooth.
It's Anything for Dogs Month with deals all month long.
And it kind of ran and made it nice and smooth.
I guess that's the trick.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, let that completely harden up, and then as you can see, there's a little thread right there. I have to trim that off. Not a big deal. Use a razor blade for that. And then I'm going to, I don't even have to sand that one, but this one I'm going to have to sand a couple bumps off of there and make it smooth. But see if that's... Yeah, it's still a little sticky, so I'm going to use my UV light because the sun's not real strong right here. But like I said, you just take this thing and you just kind of like that. It says it takes about 2 minutes. But I found that it takes a lot longer than that. And as you can see, though, what did I say, though, Tom? I said the more you do, probably the better you'll get.
Yeah.
And here it is, like my 1, 2, 3, my fourth one of wrapping. Yeah, there's the first one. This was the second, not much better. Matter of fact, maybe even a little worse. Then this one, not very good. But then this one, that's nice and smooth. Come on, camera focus. Can you get it? And then, like I said, now it's nice and tight there. It's not hard all the way. So what you want to do now is I can just put this into the sunlight over here, as you can see. Nice and sunny over on this side. I'll just let this sit out and let it cure up. Yeah, see, that's the one thing you want to make sure that you, because it always wants to go that way, so you're going to have to like put it, see, like that, and then maybe turn it over like that to get the UV light on it. But I'll just let it sit like that and let the sun do the rest of the magic there. But there you go. I fixed a fishing pole.
There you go.
Instead of throwing it in a dumpster like I usually would do, I fixed a fishing pole, Tom.
Nice.
See? I mean, they're not real expensive, but I just want to say that has a little sentimental value to it because my buddy gave that to me. I remember there's always noises somewhere, isn't there?
Yep.
He had brought it and he said, this is for the boat. It's the boat pole, which when I had my boat. So it actually is a nice, decent, I think it's a 9-footer. It's perfect for surf fishing. Some people like really long ones. 9 foot is perfect, I think, especially when you're surf fishing off the bay. But there you go, guys. Don't be intimidated by something, I mean, just go and do it. You'll get better at it the more that you do it. Don't throw a pole away when you can fix it. Until next time, grab yourself something cold to drink, put your feet up and relax. I'll meet you at the lounge.
Nice. Alright. So that ends this video. Also, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to do Psycho Dad reaction next because as I upload often, it's best so I get that done. Then after now and then I'll do Devil Inside. But yeah, anyways, that ends this video here. Stay tuned for the next one. Also, after the Psycho Dad reaction will be SMG4 short.